Paul, I'm going to start with you because you predicted some of these moves earlier this week. Did you have an inside line, or how did you know?
No, but I know Pete Hegseth, and I know his relationship with Trump. Almost everybody in the veterans community knows him and knows how close he is to Trump because he talks about it all the time. I would have predicted him for press secretary maybe, or maybe even chief of staff. They might have tried to put him in at VA secretary, but this is a very, very radical and bold move. And I think it's a reflection of Hegseth's loyalty to Trump more than anything else. Hegseth is a very effective culture warrior. He's very good at communications and at the religious war and at the political war, but he is the most unqualified candidate for this position in the history of America. He is so underqualified that from the moment the news broke, my phone, and I'm sure McCaffrey's and everybody else's phones, blew up with everybody saying, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, is this serious? The opportunity for him to do damage is really, really profound. And we're talking about a guy who says he wants no women in the military, he wants to remove all diversity initiatives, he wants to fire all the senior leadership at the department that used to be called Department of War. This is the Pentagon with 2.7 million employees, the most diverse workforce on the planet. This is very dangerous, but it's also on strategy because Trump, I'd ask everybody to take a big, deep breath. Trump is throwing like a giant flash grenade into America. He wants to disorient people. He wants to flood the zone. And we all need to take a big, deep breath and recognize the threat for what it is. Don't dismiss all these videos because Hegseth could very well be the Secretary of Defense. And we as a country have to think about putting up those guardrails because this is what it looks like when there's no guardrails.
Well, and I guess the only thing I would say is he will be the Secretary of Defense if people think Senate Republicans are a bulwark against anything.
I don't. And I mean, I've said this publicly. I'm not counting on the Democrats either. I mean, that's what we see now. I mean, Trump has the opportunity to run the table. And I think, you know, voices that we've heard over the last couple of months may not even resonate. So now you're, again, talking about people inside the Pentagon. After they try to execute a purge, you're going to have the very foundation of the fabric of our country trying to hold the line. Trump's going for the Pentagon first because it's the Pentagon that stopped him last time, right? This is where Milley held the line and stopped him from deploying the National Guard against American civilians. That's why he's going to the Pentagon and the defense industry first, because it's the most formidable resistance to what he wants to execute.
Paul Reichert, what happens on day one? I mean, this is a department that makes or breaks anyone's presidency. So what happens on day one with him in charge?
Angelo's assessment is really important because Hegseth is effective. Don't dismiss him. He is extremely effective in communicating the message and rallying people and embodying the brand and being a culture warrior. And that is really what is unique here. He is, whether he's qualified or not, he's the most overtly political appointee we've ever seen and an extreme political appointee. I mean, this is so far from a moderate Secretary of Defense that I don't think we have a parallel. So when Kamala Harris used to say, we're not going back, Pete Hegseth is the person who's going to roll back every single thing. He's going to take away abortion rights in the military. He's going to remove equality for women. He's going to implement a trans ban. He's going to take out the senior leadership that aren't loyal. The Pentagon is going to be the beachhead for everything that Trump wants to do to change our country. And Pete Hegseth is going to be the general in the front line, carrying the flag, covered in the tattoos, and carrying the message.
And what? And everyone will fall in line?
That's the question now. Like, what is the Democratic response? Who is going to lead now to oppose it?
What's the response inside the military?
Right now, the shock will wear off quickly. It's not going to be like the Democratic Party where they're going to be, you know, shattered and crying for weeks. I mean, the Department of Defense is built to try to withstand this. So now leaders are going to emerge. A lot of people who are going to retire are not going to retire. They're going to try to stay in and be like General Milley and others who hold the line and keep these people in check. But all the political appointees are gone. So it's not just Trump. It's his political appointees that are going to be asking everybody at the lower level to do crazy stuff. And that's where the real fights are going to be. They're going to be in those back offices all around the Pentagon, especially in the first couple of months.